Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I'm going to be going over the new Gems of War Mythic of the Mantichoras. It's available in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest for this week only, and then we'll be in a drop table with everything else. As far as this Mythic is concerned, it is a true damage troop that is primarily going to be used as a mana drainer, as it actually gets quite a bit of mana drain. If we go and look up the troop real quick, we can see his ability ends up dealing a bunch of true damage to three random enemies. This amount of true damage is not particularly high, especially compared to how absurdly strong true damage currently is with all the options right now. However, the main thing that you're using him for is the second aspect of his ability. It ends up draining 8 mana from every single one hit, and if they're poisoned, it'll deal double that much in draining. Unfortunately, this doesn't double the damage, otherwise this might actually be viable, but it does end up making it so you will effectively drain 16 mana 3 times. That is not bad at all. Of course, there are some things with immune to mana drain, but just stun, curse, other things to be able to bypass that. So this is mostly going to be used as an alternative mana drainer in teams where you're already dealing true damage. I don't think you would generally run this in a team where you're not already using true damage, unless you're like earlier in the game, you're just kind of building a team around basically just this troop itself. But otherwise, you're mostly just going to be synergizing it with other true damage and use this as an alternative utility for draining mana. More often than not, you don't really need to drain mana that often, but I could definitely see under like some restrictions like Monster, Leonis Empire, other things in the future where it might be a little bit more viable, especially if Infinite Loop was ever to be diminished a little bit with future updates this year, as far as like denying extra turns and stuff like that. In that kind of situation, if you're exchanging like one turn for one turn, this could actually have a lot of potential going forward, as if you can just drain their mana before they can get anything really going, if they have to end their turn pretty much every single time, this would actually be really effective in those kind of situations. So it'd be interesting to see how he pans out going forward, but in the current state of the game, I would say he's pretty average, but it does have some potential going forward. His traits aren't that bad either. He gets to start with Blue Storm, which is synergistic to the fact of what he does in his final trait, has Impervious, which you can never go wrong with, and he does end up poisoning a random enemy when matching blue gems. This in itself is pretty weak, but when synergizing with the fact that he gets to drain double mana is not that bad. It makes it so you don't necessarily need another poisoner on your team, though given how inconsistent this is going to be, you probably do still want to have another poisoner, just so you can get past the inconsistency of this final trait. But it can still make it so he can be self-sustained, so you don't need to have another poisoner, but you probably will in a lot of situations, as long as you can get it on pretty much for free. There's quite a few handful of options that can end up doing it without really interfering too much with the team. But anyways, before we go and mess around with all of the teams, let's go and actually go get it. Let's go do it in, I guess, what the gem keys. Let's see, we got pretty unlucky last time. Can we make up for it? Didn't we end up spending like 4,000 or 5,000 for like the very first one for the first mythic this year? Let's see, we're at 600, 800. Please don't be like last time. There we go. Okay, we should only need one. I don't really see any situation where you'd really get more than one, but there he is. And I think that was exactly on drop rate on that 1,000 there, so nice. Okay, let's go get this guy upgraded, go get everything we need on him, and should be good to go. Just throw a nice big orb. Don't accidentally use your power orb. And elite levels, I'll hold off for now. Well, actually, what does he get from elite levels? Oh, he is a striker, though. Oh, no, you're not really using him for damage, though. Like, yes, you will be doing damage with him, but I don't know, 4 extra damage? That's not bad. I don't know, we'll see. In the future, we might be using him a bit more. For now, we'll leave him as is. Level up, I already did that. Okay, he's good to go. Just need to go get him onto the 3 teams here. And yeah, let's get going. Of course, all of the teams will be in the description below if you want to go and copy paste any of them. And yeah, let's just go mess with them and see what we can do. We'll start from the top and go with, I was going to say the true damage team, but in all fairness, all of them are the true damage team. There's not really one that's any less true damagey than the others. But let's start with going down the Ruby route, already using another poisoner. So, of course, Ariali of the exact same colors is a little bit both in conflict, but also in synergy with them. One interesting thing about a lot of mythics that they try to do to make sure there's not too much overlap is make things the exact same color if they have very similar mechanics. However, this is actually a benefit in a lot of situations these days because there's a lot of restrictions, particularly to color. So whenever there's a blue, yellow, or green, they can both be synergized together. Of course, the main reason for using Ariali is her consistency to poisoning. She's not the only thing that does it while also doing true damage, but she is one of them. And it's the one that we're going for this time around. So all we have to do is get an extra turn here. As soon as we do, they are, of course, all going to be venomed. Oh, yeah, this is probably a bad location to do that, though. This place has a lot of things that are immune to venom. And I did not actually bring a counter. though there's not really much mana to drain. That's another issue that you could have occasionally. He can only drain mana that's actually there. Obviously, it's meant to keep denying out the enemy. So let's see if he gets some mana there. The problem is we're going to actually overkill him, though. Like, let's see. Can we get the mana drain on him? Of course, it is consistent when it goes for 2, which could also be another factor that is a little bad. Reminds me a little bit of Tina 9000, actually, but with mana drain instead of really high damage. Because it has, like, that multi-hit true damage, but at a way weaker amount of damage. But with the application of mana drain. So, kind of interesting. It's a lot more utility-based, that's for sure. You're definitely not using this thing for damage. You're definitely 100% not using it for damage. However, you know what you do use for damage? Tesla, Takshaka, any of the other good true damagers. This is going to be one of the more common ways of using him. Obviously, double Takshaka in these kind of teams is generally still going to be better than him. However, this is using him purely as utility. As you saw there, his damage output's not the greatest, but what is good is his amount of mana drain that he'll be able to go get. So let's go and see if we can actually get an instance of him. I might even bring it over to PvP just to kind of see if we can get that somewheres. Actually, this is a pure blue team, so I can bring him to blue PvP. I believe we have that this week. So we can go bring him over there to see exactly what we can end up doing. Let me just get a little bit more mana there. Let's see. We'll take that over, take that over, take that over. Can we get everything going? Get the Tesla down. At this point, I think we're only going to need double Tesla. We're already good to go. We can get a triple kill with this if nothing else. Don't really need the mana drains, but then just clean up with Takshaka. As you can see, just compared to even just Takshaka alone, not even counting Tesla's absurdly higher damage, but even just Takshaka ends up eclipsing it quite a bit. Hey, we got an Ender token. But anyways, let's go do the low rarity team, and now I want to go test the true mana core in PvP, since it's actually a pure blue team. I didn't realize that. But we're going to be going with a little bit of another utility one. We're basically building a early game true damage team, or sorry, skull spam team, but doing it with a utility of mana drain. So whenever we need to go and mana drain out the enemy, we'll be able to go and do so. If they ever get any kind of lead or anything like that, we basically hold them until they end up getting the mana, and then just go and ideally drain them all. And hopefully we'll have a kill or two by then, so the drain would actually end up hitting the remaining enemies that are still left. So of course, with any standard Mang team, you always want to throw it onto first there. Go get your armor tier so you can go one-shot it and start working your way down the line. I will hold off a little bit on the mana drain. You don't actually have to spam it on this team. You're mostly looking to use it whenever you, or whenever the enemy is starting to get too high on mana. So we actually don't want to use it quite yet. We want to whittle down the team a little bit with all of our skulls, and just kind of get them into a position where we can end up utilizing it. So we'll take a skull there, take a free skull there. Don't even need the other one. Actually, we already have Hunter's Mark. Do we even need it? Well, we can go for the true damage here. Kill it out that way, as they do concentrate on the one enemy. So if there's only one left, they will all hit the last remaining enemy there. All right, let me go grab the true mana core real quick. Let me see something. This is actually a pure blue team. It's pretty easy to make them into a lot of pure color teams. Like even our first team, I think, was almost pure green, except for one option. That could easily be made into a pure green. If I could ever click on the right location, there we go. We do have blue this week, right? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, let's go test some blue PvP. Standard team? Takshaka. Oh no, do we want to deal with Takshaka versus Takshaka? Let's see. Oh no, is this somewhat similar? Oh, gosh, any way you look at it. Okay, fine, we'll just do it. Let's see. We'll do this one. Alright, so we're using a somewhat similar team, but instead of Stellarix into double Takshaka, we are using Tesla with the new Mantichoras. So let's see how this goes. Obviously, double Takshaka is still going to beat it out in most situations. You're still keeping with double Takshaka. Is way quicker. Hey, look, that actually makes our team a lot more even now, doesn't it? Well, that's convenient. Now we're both only one Takshaka. Anyways, let's go get our mana going, get wand. Still plays out the same kind of start as you would. Just with a little bit less assist from the Takshaka, since you're only getting one of them per turn rather than two. Unfortunately, we don't have everything we need right now. Might actually have to go for another little bit of mana here just to kind of get it off the ground. But once we do, we should be good to go. Do we take the skull? I think we're going to take the skull just to kind of clear it out a little bit. I'm do whatever there, that's fine. Stop taking skulls, though. Too many skulls. Alright, so, of course, we could use the mana drain component now. The only big downside is, of course, it can backfire. So, yeah, that's not ideal. We should just kill him, though. That's his problem. Like, what's the point of mana draining when we could just one-shot? Or in the case of other cases, two-shot. But even if this doesn't one-shot, you're just going to gain an extra turn anyways, almost guaranteed. Like we just did. And you just cleared him out with whatever. Yeah, damage is definitely an issue. The other issue, of course, is he does auto-end his turn. This is an issue with a lot of things in the game, where the fact that they end their turn, it's not viable compared to things that don't end their turn. Most notably, like Takshaka, where you hit for a double enemy and you still get your turn back and you get all your mana back pretty much. whereas this will guarantee end your turn. And while you do get to get rid of the enemy's mana, it doesn't really matter if you just never give the enemy a turn in most situations. Let's see, can we do anything here? Come on, take that. Is there not a way to cascade that? Doesn't look like it. I'm gonna cascade that to the other thing. We'll just take it directly. The struggle of only getting 1 wild card per turn. Alright, let's see. I'll take that one over. Let's see. Can we work with this? Can we work with this? I would sure hope we can. Alright, that's all the mana we need. We can easily wait a turn, so we'll give up our turn here with a Tesla. Oh, they already killed it though! Tesla, no! Stop doing so much damage. I'm trying to use the new Mythic. Alright, let's try this one. So I've been seeing this a lot more often. I actually haven't really done this too much, but using the Naga boost to end up feeding into Takshaka. I've been seeing a lot of people that don't have Stellaryx actually start to run this team. And yeah, definitely gets the job done. Using that to boost up your Takshakas as they gain their infinite turns as they normally do. But we shall go our mana drain route and see if we can actually get this thing going. Of course, keep in mind, things do actually have to have not immune to mana drain as well. If you ever are against a team that does, you could, of course, just end up offsetting it with Curse and anything else like that. Let's see. Okay, so if this hits his first slot, it will drain him, but not kill him. So that would actually work out for us. Come on, can you do that? Of course! You hit literally... you hit literally everything but the target I needed you to hit. Oh, gosh. But yeah, that's the kind of inconsistency I would expect. It literally hit everything but the actual target. Oh, why? This will be the last one we mess around with it. Please, I want to get, like, any value from him. Let's see. I'm going to get Juan down. Alright, we got another Valhawk, so we definitely got to go for that. Take our other one. Pretty much get to full mana there. Perfect. Now I just need the enemy to get some mana so it can go drain their mana. But they're already pretty much in kill range. Oh, can we get it this time? Can we get the drain on hero? You don't have immune. You don't have immune. Alright, can we get this? You know what? I'm not taking any chance. Oh, but then we'll kill him. I need to not kill him, though. Oh, wait, but now I'm going to kill him because I just got rid of his thing. No! We at least hit it. There's no way he misses it twice in a row, right? No way! He did it again. I'm just trying to get 1 mana drain value, please. Alright, well, I guess we just kill him, then. But anyways, overall verdict on the Mythic. It's an okay utility troop. I don't see too many instances in the current state of the game where you're really bringing it out. Maybe in a new Guild War system, it could end up having a place after they add those new functions later this year, potentially. To try to rebalance out the game and make extra turn spam a little bit weaker. Maybe he comes in then. But beyond that, in the current state of the game, he's just way weaker than other true damagers. There's a good handful of options that are already doing more than him. But as far as a mana drain option, he's decent, but has the big downside of inconsistency. The fact that he hits 3 random enemies, if you're looking to drain a very specific enemy, it is very likely he will not hit. Not only can he multi-tap an enemy that he already hit, for example, all 3 of them could hit on the same enemy, not hitting out the drain on the other ones, but yeah, it's just not consistent. Like, you don't get to choose. If you get to choose, like, one of the 3 targets, like, choose one, and then the other 2 are random, this would be a lot more viable. But the fact that you don't get to choose one target, and he has no follow-up at all, makes him very, very, very hard to use. So, that's pretty much the end of him, then. Like, he's not going to get too much usage. There will be some cases, probably under Monster, I would say probably the most. The Honest Empire a little bit, he does have some true damage synergy there with like Corvash and everything else. But I feel like that you already have like mana drain there to a much more consistent degree. That you don't necessarily need to end up going with the Mantichoras. But definitely keep an eye on him. He's definitely a utility troop that if we ever really need hefty mana drain, could be okay. This is technically, if I'm not mistaken, not counting full mana drain. Well, I guess full mana drains would just be stronger than that. I don't know. I was going to say this could be potentially the highest amount of mana drain in the game that isn't like a full mana drain, like Famine or something. But, and again, why not just run Famine? That's the other thing that comes up a lot, too. This used to be really meta back in the day. He ends up getting buffed, and then, like, nerfed. But in the current state of the game, he's actually not used much. But when you compare it to something like Famine, it is a physical damage instead of true damage. But it gets to drain all enemies for only 24. And it still ends its turn. But for 2 mana more, you're consistently getting absolutely everything on the opposing team with no RNG factor at all. And you probably get enough damage to, like, one-shot or almost one-shot an enemy. Which, this thing, a lot of times, due to how little true damage he's doing, isn't really doing that. There's a lot of times where he just doesn't hit the target that you need. Oh no, he just has a really weird position where he just can't really be used. Impervious on him is nice, but he's basically trying to whittle down the team so that he can get better value from this. But at that point, your true damage options, or even just damage options in general, can end up killing out to the point where, I don't know, you just don't really need his mana drain anymore. It's just really weird. But overall, that's the new Mythic. I would say it's pretty average. It's a utility troop that you may use occasionally, but for the most part is probably pretty skippable, I would say. It's a nice thing to have in your arsenal, but I think you live without it. There's definitely better options out there for both true damage, mana drain, and honestly, even Leonis Empire. Like, I didn't show this yet, but if we just go under the kingdom of Leonis Empire, I was mentioning Corvash earlier, but even just the things within his own kingdom, if we end up doing like this, do base rarity, show all in case there's missing something there, you don't count. But, I don't know, I think Corvash is the main one to compare it to. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, there's not too much other things to really compare it to. But Corvash has a comparable amount of damage. It does do one less poke, but both its two pokes are completely consistent, the first two enemies. So you always know exactly what you're going to be draining, the first two enemies. Whereas this might do the first two enemies, could do the third enemy 3 times, could do the fourth enemy 2 times, and then like the second one once. Like you don't really know what he's going to hit. Whereas this is a 100% mana drain to the first two. And you don't have to worry about it being partial, like 8 or 16. You don't have to worry about the poison. Even comes with a free stun, which is way more useful than poison. I don't know, I just don't really see a use case for this guy. In pretty much every category. Let's see, Monster. Monster's the only one we haven't checked. Let's go for all of them. We're going this deep. Might as well go all the way. Let's see, what do we have for Monster option? Monster, base rarity. Yeah, even a Basilisk. I already saw that there. Megavore, Arachnine Weaver's a pretty absurdly noteworthy one. Yeah, that's like one of the best ones that you even have in this category. Megavore, well, not really a true damager, just have the armor tier, which kind of makes everything on your team into a true damager. Basilisk even, which has the really single focus kind of thing, as well as also having the benefit based on poison. So I guess you could technically synergize them together if you really wanted to. Basilisk plus the Mantichoras. But yeah, I don't think it really has a place in any category that I could think of. Like all 3 of them. Or even like every single one. Like Leonis Empire, just use Corvash. For Monster, you have things like Arachnine Weaver already. And for all 3 of these colors, well, you already have technically true damagers in almost every single one of them. That is either par with it or slightly better in one way or another. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I would even say he's a little bit below average then. But yeah, final verdict. I would say decently skippable. Utility troop that you may use sometime, like once, twice, ever, on occasional event weeks or something else. Maybe some kind of other weird restriction in the future, like for Guild Wars or something. But beyond that, you're definitely, this isn't like a core thing you're ever putting on a team, even though he's a mana core. He's definitely not a core troop that you would ever really build into. He's more so one of those things where you're going to be under restriction one day and realize, oh yeah, I have this one random mythic I can go put it there. I guess we'll go use him once. But you're definitely not going to be bringing him out that often. But that's the troop. Mostly a mana drainer utility that just is outclassed in almost every way. And if you still want to go get it, is in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest for the following week. And all the teams that we mentioned are in the description below if you want to go and copy paste any of them. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and best of luck if you're going to be trying for the Mythic. Bye everyone, and thanks for watching.